Hello all, welcome to SNAP 2016 exam strategy session. In this session we are going to have a look at some of the things which you need to know to help yourself strategize better to score high in the exam and eventually get a percentile which could get calls from SIBM Pune, SMHRD Pune, SIIB Pune and SIBM Bangalore apart from other symbiosis colleges. So let us quickly have a look at the pattern of SNAP 2016 as the pattern has changed this year. So this year they are going to have 150 questions for 150 marks. Till last year this used to be 180 marks. So this year the overall marks have reduced. In verbal you are going to have 40 questions for 40 marks. In Cont again you are going to have 40 questions for 40 marks. In LR, this year you are going to have 40 questions of 40 marks, while last year this used to be just 30 questions for 60 marks. Now they have reduced the weightage of LR in terms of per question as well as the overall section and increased the number of questions. So this directly indicates that this year the level of LR in SNAP is going to be lower as compared to that of last year, and traditionally LR has been the toughest section in SNAP, so a reduction in difficulty level of LR should help those students who are not that strong in LR. So this will give you an equal opportunity to do well in LR. And then last comes the GK, which is going to have 30 questions for 30 marks. Now another point to remember here in GK is this year they have specifically mentioned that they are going to give you only 2015 and 2016 current affairs. So that means you don't need to study the static GK part for SNAP, which usually comprises of things like history, geography, polity, constitution, etc. However, what areas should be covered when we talk about current affairs, we will be dealing with that particular aspect as well in detail as we move ahead in the section. First of all, let's have a look at the verbal section. So in verbal, definitely RCs are very important. RCs are going to be very easy. When we talk about SNAP, the very important part of SNAP verbal is the vocabulary, and this is going to have the highest weightage. Also, there would be questions on idioms and phrases. We have already shared with you a list of frequently asked idioms and phrases to help you out in acing those questions as well. In vocab, the other questions will be in the forms of synonyms and antonyms. Very few questions will be there from other topics like parajumbles, sentence corrections, critical reasoning. These will have very few questions. You can assume that FIJs might not come at all in the paper. So that should be a relaxation for quite a few of you. Among other areas which could cover in which could come in the verbal part as per the past trends is fill in the blanks and analogies. So if we see the other topics which can come is fill in the blanks. Now fill in the blanks is nothing but your vocabulary only. Analogies, again they can be tagged back to your vocabulary. So analogies, fill in the blanks, parajumbles, sentence corrections, critical reasoning, RCs, vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms. And lastly, find the odd word out. So this pretty much covers your verbal part in SNAP. The difficulty level of everything is easy. Only vocab will be easy to moderate. Rest everything, whether it be parajumbles, whether it be RCs, whether it be analogies, all of them are going to be easy. Overall difficulty level of verbal section as per the past trends in SNAP has always been easy. We will come to the ideal attempts later on. Right now we'll have a look at the important topics. So this was all about the verbal topics and their difficulty level and the way in which the questions can be asked in the exam. Now let us try to move to the con part. So con, we are going to have 40 questions. Out of these 40, you can expect 4 to 8 to be DI. And remaining is going to be the core con part. In con, highest weightage is going to be of arithmetic. When I say arithmetic, I mean topics like TST, time and work, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, ratios, proportions, mixtures, allocations. So these are going to have the highest weightage in the snap con part, and as per the past trends, you can expect around 15 to 18 questions from just the arithmetic part. So that emphasizes on the importance of arithmetic, and hence if you are seriously aiming to score high in snap, arithmetic is something which you should be very good with. So try to focus a lot on practicing arithmetic in coming up days so that you can do well in snap. Then comes your numbers, which will have 4 to 6 questions. Level of difficulty of numbers in snap is going to be very easy. You will not find very tricky remainder theorem questions or a very tricky power based questions or a very tricky factorial based questions. No, you will find very easy questions when it comes to numbers. And if you ask me from where to prepare, level 1 questions of any MBA preparation book like Arun Sharma, Sarvesh Kumar, Nishit Sinha should be good. So whether it's numbers or other topics which have lower weightage, level 1 questions should be very good for you. Just for arithmetic, you can go for level 2 questions as well of your MBA books, because arithmetic is something which comes easy to moderate in snap. Rest other topics, whether it be numbers, whether it be TI, or whether it be the remaining set of topics which have very low weightage in snap, all of them will be very easy, and level 1 of any MBA preparation book should be good for you. Now topics like geometry have a very small weightage in exam, so you will not, so for example, if I talk about geometry, you will just have say 2 to 3 questions from geometry. PNC probability, again 1 to 2 questions. So it's not very important. You can do well in snap even without geometry or PNC and probability. So any person out there among all of you who is not having geometry as a strong area or PNC probability as a strong area, need not worry. You can still get more than 30 marks out of 40 in con just by arithmetic, DI and numbers. You cannot do well in snap con without being good at arithmetic. So your strategy from now on should focus a lot on arithmetic part. Coming to LR, 40 questions this year. So what are the important topics as per the past trends for LR part? One thing which you are going to definitely get is a caselet on seating arrangement. This is a must come question. Similarly, there will be another question on linear arrangement. For sure, these are the two must to have things in your LR part. Then another very important topic from LR perspective is coding decoding. This is another important topic which usually comes with 4 to 6 questions in the exam. Then you have a statement, assumption, conclusion based questions where a statement is given and you have to draw conclusions, and a statement is given, you have to tell the hidden assumption. So this set of questions also come in LR. You may get a few questions around input output. You will get some logic based analogies. Then you may get some puzzles. And then they also at times give you critical reasoning as a part of LR section as well. So these are your most important topics of LR when it comes to SNAP. Now, how to prepare? While sitting arrangement, linear arrangement, you must be doing for CAT and other exams as well. Topics like coding, decoding, statement assumption, conclusions, input, output, analogies. These are not very common to CAT, and hence at times a lot of coachings, they either don't teach it or they don't give it a lot of importance. So from where do you prepare? You can prepare all these topics from SNAP LR perspective from R.S. Agrawal's verbal and non-verbal reasoning book. That will take care that you have prepared very well for SNAP logical reasoning. So if any one of you out there who wants to spend some time practicing in depth the questions on these topics, you can go to R.S. Agrawal verbal and non-verbal reasoning book. Also, as far as the difficulty level is concerned, expect the difficulty level of LR to come a bit down in SNAP this year. And as far as sitting arrangement and linear arrangement goes, your level 1 questions should be good. The sheets which you get in coaching should be good to practice. There is no need to go for AIMCAT level questions for sitting arrangement, linear arrangement for SNAP. So it's a very easy caselet which you will usually get in a sitting arrangement and a linear arrangement. The tough questions which we usually face are in coding, decoding, input, output. Usually not because the question is tough, but because we have not practiced them enough. So that is where the high number of mocks which you are taking with us for SNAP are going to help you. Also, if someone wants a practice beyond mocks, you can go to R.S. Agrawal book as I have mentioned earlier. Coming to GK. Yes, we are only going to get current affairs, but current affairs is like a vast sea. So what all topics should be covered in current affairs? One is books and authors. Next is awards, prizes, honors. Third is economy, very important. This is expected to have very high number of questions this year. Then mergers and acquisitions, another very important topic. You should expect at least 1 to 2 questions coming from mergers and acquisitions in the exam. Then you should also be knowing important days. For example, when is the International Yoga Day, and all these kind of recently introduced important days and dates should be known to you. Then union budget, another important area. Another important area here to know is all the political developments happening in India, economic policies recently introduced, and lastly, Indian relations with all other countries. For example, majorly US, Europe, Russia, China. How are Indian relations developing with these countries over last 2 years? So all these things can come in your current affairs. Now, while current affairs is a vast sea, these are the areas which you should focus the most, because the highest number of questions in the exam, in the GK for current affairs are going to revolve around these topics only. So it's very important for you to understand and study all these things. There is no need to worry as we have covered all these things in the ebooks which we have provided you. So please go through the ebooks of GK very thoroughly. Expect at least 20 plus questions from the ebooks and the tests directly. So this is a very important part. I'll just take a pause here so that you can just go through the list once. Now let us have a look at the ideal attempt. What is the ideal attempt in the paper for different sections? Verbal, out of 40 questions, you should be doing 32 plus. In LR, out of 40, you should be doing 24 plus. Cont, out of 40, you should be doing 27 plus. In GK, out of 30, you should be doing 20 plus. And overall, out of 150, you should be targeting overall attempt of 120 plus. This should be your target attempt within the time limit. I am not telling you the specific time limits for different sections because that is something which will depend upon your accuracy. However, in GK, do not spend more than 15 minutes. So for GK part, just spend 15 minutes in the GK section. In verbal, again, for 32 questions, you should ideally not be requiring more than 25 minutes. So 35 and 15, 25 and 15, 40 minutes goes to, 45 minutes go to your verbal and GK. Sorry, it's 40 minutes. 40 minutes go to your verbal and GK. Remaining time, you should distribute between LR and Cont based on your strengths and weaknesses. And since it's a paper pencil based test, you can keep on flocking as well. So that is completely okay. Do not spend more than a minute on a question if you are not able to crack it in LR part. Because LR is very dicey in Snap. It should not be the case that you spend a lot of time in solving one particular caselet and miss out at just solving four to five more questions which you could have solved in that particular given time. So please be very quick in skipping a question as well, and you can always come back to it when time is in hand. But do not spend more than a minute on a question if within first 60 seconds you have not got the hang of the caselet in LR or a question in Cont. So please try to use your time very judiciously. It's very important. Also, please remember, Snap does not have your sectional cutoffs. It will not have your sectional cutoffs. Snap is only going to have overall cutoff. So it's only the overall score that matters, and that is where you should be focusing on to maximize your score. You will not get any additional marks for solving a tougher question. So just focus on increasing the number of correct attempts. Do not focus on, or say do not take on your ego to solve a particular question somehow. So keep your ego apart. Pick up easy questions first, solve them first, then come to moderate questions, then come to difficult level questions. You can keep flocking across the paper. In GK, you either know a question or you don't know a question. So in 15 minutes, you should be done and dusted with GK. Same goes with verbal. You either know it or you either don't know it. So you can just get over with your verbal part within 25 minutes as well. So come back to LR and Cont. Do these areas with a very high efficiency, because here you can actually have a very good hold on your accuracy, and that is where you should spend a good time in these two sections to be able to score high. Do not worry about sectionals. SNAP does not have sectional cutoffs, so just focus on increasing your overall cutoffs. And your minimum target attempt should be 120 out of 150 if you are aiming for SIBM Pune and SMHRD Pune. What should be target scores? Another question which I keep on hearing is, what should be my target score for getting the calls vis-a-vis say percentiles? So let us have a quick look at score versus percentiles. If out of 120 attempts which we suggested you are able to get a 100 plus score, rest assured of a 99 plus percentile. So 100 plus score is going to take you definitely for a 99 plus percentile, which should be good enough to get you a call from any Symbiosis college. Score of say 83 to 85 will take you to 97 percentile, which is the cutoff of Symbiosis Pune. So 83 to 85 marks will ensure that you are getting a SIBM Pune call. 70 to 72 marks will be leading to 94 percentile approximately, which would mean that apart from say SIBM Pune and SMHRD, you are getting calls from all the remaining colleges. And then for your 90 percentile, you should be targeting 60 to 62 marks. And then if someone is thinking that what if I just score 50 marks, then around 47 to 50 marks will lead you to 80 percentile. So this is what we expect in the changed scenario of the exam, when the exam is of 150 marks and it is no more of 180 marks. Also, just to give you an idea of cutoffs, let me just share some cutoffs with you so that you have the understanding of what to target in the exam if you are specifically targeting any specific college. And these are the official cutoff figures, so you can trust them. I'll be discussing the general cutoffs. SIBM Pune would be 97.5 approximately. And this SIBM Pune cutoff is for the flagship course. SMHRD will be around 96.5. SIBM Bangalore will be around 85 to 86. SIIB Pune will have around 86 to 87. SITM will have 70 to 72. SCIT will again have around 70. Then SIOM will again have around 70 as a cutoff. So these are the expected percentile cutoffs as per the past trends for these colleges. And we have just discussed previously that what score leads to these percentiles. So I guess you have a clear picture in your mind now that what score you should be targeting to get calls from these colleges, and to be on the safest side, always try to score 5 or 10 marks more than what we are projecting for say 97 percentile. So that you always have those extra marks in your bucket at the time of release of calls, and you are pretty much safe that yes, no matter what happens, you are definitely going to get the call. So we have discussed GK, that what all topics should be covered. We have discussed cutoffs. We have discussed important topics. We have discussed what are topics to focus upon and different sections. We have discussed the ideal number of attempts. We have discussed the expected score percentiles. The books for LR, like we discussed, that you should be going to R.S. Agrawal. For GK, the material which we have provided you is more than sufficient. And for verbal and quant, level 1 books of MBAs will be good. And just for arithmetic, you can go for level 2. Last thing which I want to discuss is what should be the strategy after CAT, because I guess quite a few of you are going to give a dedicated time to SNAP after CAT as well. So try to take at least 6 to 7 mocks after CAT. Thorough your preparation for GK. Practice non-CAT LR topics from R.S. Agrawal. This is very important. Topics like coding, decoding, input, output, analogies, critical reasoning, puzzles. These are very important topics which you should be doing. And then quick speed arithmetic. Do not go for anything else. Just focus on these areas. And in case you are weak in vocab, try to revise vocab from Darren's high frequency word list, and then idioms and phrases which we have provided you. Go through that ebook very well. So this should be your strategy after CAT for SNAP. Taking 6 to 7 full length mocks, throwing up your GK, giving special time to non-CAT LR topics, speeding up your accuracy and speed in arithmetic, a quick revision of vocabulary with high frequency balanced word list in your view, and lastly going through all the idioms and phrases which we have provided you in the idioms ebook. This together will ensure that you are very well placed for SNAP exam on the D-Day. And this should be your sole core around which your strategy for SNAP should revolve. So with this, I'll end this session, and I hope that you could take a few takeaways from the session, and I look forward to all of you scoring high in SNAP. And in case any one of you have any doubt after going through this video, please feel free to drop us a mail at varun@careerna.com with your doubts, and I'll be responding to your doubts at the earliest possible. Thank you all, and all the very best for both CAT and SNAP. Thank you.